So what metal do I pluck, and what do I pluck it with?
I've had some of you ask me what kind of strings I use. Some of you are starting out in recording, or you're wanting to learn guitar, and you'd like to know what I use with the tunings that I use. To answer that, I'll start off by saying I'm very brand specific whenever it comes to areas of music. So I use Ernie Ball branded strings, and I use only 2 different types. Orange and is that purple? Orange and purple. You can remember the colors, you don't necessarily have to remember the name. I got a whole bunch of them in my hand, I'll put these down. So what are these? The purple are power slinkies. The orange are skinny top, heavy bottom. Why do I use 2 different packs of strings? Let me tell you. The power slinkies are a little bit smaller than the orange pack. We'll just go purple, orange, purple, orange. The purple ones are a little bit smaller than the orange ones. You can see the sizes there. And the orange ones are a little bit thicker than the purple ones. You can see the sizes there. Now, that's not all inclusive, because whenever you're tuning into drop C or drop B, string tension and string size are important.
Size matters.
Now, whenever you're looking at strings and you're wanting to know the size of them, the bigger number is the size of your lower strings. The smaller number is the size of your higher strings. So, with these, power slinkies have a 48 low string, which means if you're tuning in drop C, your low C string is the size 48. These ones have a low string size of 52, thicker than the purple ones. Had hair in my mouth. Because whenever you're tuning down to drop B, you want more string tension. The thicker the string, the more string tension you have. But whenever you get up to the high strings, the skinny top, heavy bottom are exactly what they say. Skinny top. They are a 10, power slinkies are 11 for the high, what would be called the high E string, because standard tuning E, A, D, G, B, E, the high E string, or in drop D, which is C, G, C, F, A, D, so the high D string is a 10 or an 11. Why is it thicker in the power slinkies, thinner in the orange ones, purple, orange? Because whenever you tune down, these have a better tonal quality whenever you're blending notes, to have a little bit thinner string on the bottom. Typically people who are in drop B don't do much soloing. The higher strings are meant for overtones, meant for sonic additives in the riff. So I use only Ernie Ball. And why am I brand specific on Ernie Ball? Well, it's the same reason I'm brand specific on everything. It's the same reason I only play Schecter 6 strings. It's the same reason that as far as picks go, I only use these Dunlop Max grips. 1mm, by the way. I like a stiff pick. Stiff. I like a stiff pick to play with because it gives me more attack on the strings. I'm not much of a fast player, and I do not do only down picking. The whole down picking, alternate picking argument, in my opinion, is completely stupid. You're no more of a better player if you only down pick than if you alternate. So with these picks, they're thick enough to flex just the right amount for me over those particular strings. With different set of strings, with thinner strings, I wouldn't want that thick of a pick. With thicker strings, I would want a thicker pick. And that's why you see some of these guitarists playing like Doritos, you know, because they like there's some really thick strings. I really want to get after it. But anyway, why am I brand specific? Because whenever you're a musician, or whenever you're a recording artist, or you're doing this for a living, the less amount of complication you have, the better. If you can streamline anything, do it. Because there's no sense in bouncing around playing fucking juggling act, picking different types of strings. If you're recording a song, you don't want this guitar to have a set of strings, this guitar to have a completely different set of strings, use different picks, because it causes variables. Now, in recording, variables are a benefit, but make sure that they're structured variables. That's why bands will use 2 or 4 different amp heads on a song, because they sonically are different. They don't go using different picks unless it's a song that's incredibly dynamic. In my opinion, I like to keep things as close to the live performance as possible. And in a live performance, you don't want to have different types of guitars and different types of strings and different types of picks, because it takes away from the engagement of the crowd. It takes away from enjoying the show. You're focused on controlling the pick that you're not used to, or fretting the strings that you're not used to, because if you over fret the strings and you push too hard, you'll send them out of tune. If you under fret them, they won't resonate as well. Or if you're hitting the string too hard it'll send it out of tune. Or if you're not hitting them hard enough, you won't get the attack. So whenever the chorus comes in, it'll just sound weak. It'll sound horrible. So pick a gauge of strings that are comfortable for your fingers and have the right amount of tension. You don't need to play with freaking power line cables. Some guys do. They put the damn strings on their guitar and it makes it look like a bow and arrow. It's just ridiculous. You don't need super thick strings to have a powerful sound. Now, there is a correlation between scale length and string size. The reason I play Schecter guitars is because the neck fits my hand the way I want. I don't have Floyd Roses. I don't have a tremolo system. I have Tone Pros, two pneumatic systems on all my guitars. I don't do any whammy bar shit. I like it to stay the way it is. So that eliminates that variable. The tuning is more stable. My hand lands on the same spot on every guitar. My other hand, my fretting hand, the necks all have the same radius. They're all the same scale length. And for Schecter's, the C1 model, they're 25.5-inch scale length, which is perfect for me because it allows me to detune down to drop C, drop B, and sometimes drop A, and maintain the string tension so that the notes come through properly. Now, each of these guitars are different, but it's characteristics within the guitar. I don't go through switching pickups every time or switching potentiometers trying to find the best one. I pick and choose. That's why I have so many. I need more. This is a Lady Luck. It has a thinner body, has a lot thinner of a sound, sounds more like a Stratocaster. I don't really play that all that much, but it has DiMarzio 36th anniversary pickups in it, 2 humbuckers. And all these are 24 fret guitars, by the way. This is actually my favorite. Well, it's tied for my favorite. See if am I pointing right? There we go. That's the Schecter She-Devil. Surprisingly, that's not the most expensive guitar I own, and it's one of the ones that I like the most. There's an argument that a guitar is only worth what you pay for it, and that's not necessarily true. That's largely true, but then there's about 10% of guitars which are not expensive, are relatively cheap, $500, $300 or so, and they're incredible. They fit the artist perfect. Now, if somebody else were to play this guitar, it may be total shit for them, but this guitar happens to fit me the way I want it to fit. So that is my main guitar. Right next to it is my other main guitar, and they're polar opposites. This one is a very expensive guitar. It's a Schecter 30th anniversary. It has Seymour Duncan custom customs. That's 2 customs. And it has passive pickups, whereas this has active pickups. So they sound completely different. This has a rosewood fretboard. This has an ebony fretboard. They're both mahogany with a maple top, but they sound totally different. They're both insanely awesome. This one here is a fire breather. It's a Blackjack ATX with Seymour Duncan blackouts. Those are active pickups. Lot of gain in those things. I actually turn the gain down on my Mesa Boogie whenever I'm playing that. Not that. The one that's a little bit out of frame, this one is an original Schecter C1 Classic. The one thing that's not original is it has 2-tone DiMarzio 36th anniversaries, which gives it a completely different sound than this guitar that has the same pickups in it, because this is a very thin guitar. This is a very thick and heavy guitar. These things sound incredible in this guitar. Not really sold on the ones in this guitar. Probably going to change those in the future. But this one has its own tonal quality. None of these sound the same, but they all feel the same. I use the same straps on every guitar except for this one. This is the oddball, and it just works. I use the same straps, same picks, same strings if they're in the same tuning. And I will cross between using the orange ones for drop B and using the purple ones for drop B because it gives 2 different tonal qualities. In an instance, you'll have the lower string being thicker, the higher string being thinner or thicker. It'll switch it up a little bit, but controllably. So if I'm recording, I can put the purple strings on the right and the orange strings on the left, panning wise, so that the sonic quality is different, helps broaden the stereo image of the guitar tracks, gives the song a little more of a wider feel. But this guitar is tuned to B, this guitar is tuned to A sharp, this guitar is tuned to drop D, as in Delta, because it doesn't really sound all that good in drop C or B. But it still has power slinkies on it. A little difficult to solo on that thing because those are very thick and very tenuous when tuned that high. The She-Devil is tuned to drop C, and it's always tuned to drop C. Its intonation is perfect for drop C. If I take it out of drop C, there's just something doesn't feel right. And the 30th anniversary is in, it can span between drop D as in Delta to drop D flat, drop C, and drop B. Drop A doesn't serve it too well. So as you can see, they all serve a different purpose, but they're the same brand, same style, different models. The strings are the same. It's all about eliminating the variables so that you can focus on the performance. If you can know and control the differences of your guitars and the similarities that you use when playing those guitars, then it's a lot easier. So if you're looking for strings for drop C and drop B, purple and orange, go for those. If you're looking for picks to start out with, Dunlop, nylon 1mm. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a basis. Might help some of you guys who are getting into playing or just wanted some tips as far as strings and picks go. If you want to see more of the gear, let me know. I'll make some more videos in the future showing the rest of the gear and explaining why I use it and some of the settings that I use and how I go about it, both recording and in a live setting. If you want to see more about the life of a musician and learn more about me, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Stenosis Music, and we'll see you next time.